Oktober 3, 1993, jam 3:32 PM. Mogadishu, Somalia. Ropes drop from Black Hawk helicopters. Rangers fast rope into the dust. 30 minutes. That's all this is supposed to take. Arrest to lieutenants. Extract. Go home. At 4:20 p.m., the sky explodes. An RPG tears through Super 61. The Black Hawk spins, crashes. The mission clock stops. The battle clock starts. 18 hours later, 19 Americans are dead. 1,000 Somalis lie in the streets. The world watches bodies dragged through dirt. America learns a lesson it will never forget. These are 7 battles that defined modern warfare. Black Hawk down. The Battle of Mogadishu began as a raid to capture warlord lieutenants, but spiraled into an overnight siege. Insurgents shot down 3 Black Hawk helicopters. Master Sergeant Gary Gordon and Sergeant First Class Randy Shughart requested insertion. They were granted permission to defend the second crash site. Both would die protecting pilot Michael Duran, who was captured. The raid succeeded, 2 targets arrested, but the cost was catastrophic. The battle left 80 Americans dead, marking the highest U.S. casualties in direct conflict since Vietnam. President Clinton withdrew forces. The lesson: urban warfare is brutally unpredictable. Special operations evolved dramatically afterward. Better intelligence, better armor, better coordination. But Mogadishu proved that even elite forces can be overwhelmed when the enemy controls the terrain and the clock. Second Battle of Fallujah. On November 7, 2004, coalition forces launched Operation Phantom Fury, later described as the heaviest urban combat U.S. forces faced since Huck City in 1968. 12,000 American troops, 2,000 Iraqi forces, against an entrenched insurgency that had fortified every block. House-to-house fighting killed 110 coalition troops and wounded 600, while approximately 3,000 insurgents died. Snipers in every window, IDs in every doorway. Marines blew holes through walls rather than risk booby-trapped doors. The city was cleared in 9 days of intense fighting, followed by weeks of mopping up resistance. By war's end, more than 40% of Fallujah lay in ruins. The insurgents never challenged coalition forces in open combat again, but the cost, human and structural, is staggering. Battle of Marawi. May 23, 2017. The Philippines, ISIS-affiliated militants seized the city of Marawi, declaring it a provincial territory for Islamic State in Southeast Asia. The armed forces of the Philippines, with limited urban combat experience, faced militants who'd prepared for years. The raid to capture ISIS leader Isnilon Hapilon was repulsed when insurgents revealed extensive defensive preparations throughout the city. For 5 months, Filipino troops fought building by building. By war's end, 165 soldiers, 67 civilians, and 954 militants were dead. 95% of structures within the main battle area were damaged. American and Australian forces provided intelligence support. The battle demonstrated that ISIS tactics had spread beyond the Middle East. Southeast Asia faced a new threat, and modern militaries confronted an uncomfortable truth. Urban warfare favors the defender, demands overwhelming firepower, and destroys everything. Battle for Mosul 2016-2017. The second largest city in Iraq, ISIS's self-declared capital. 9 months of grinding urban warfare to retake it. Iraqi forces, supported by U.S. air power and advisors, fought through a city fortified with tunnels, suicide bombers, and civilian human shields. The old city narrow streets, ancient buildings became a meat grinder. ISIS used drones to drop grenades, armored car bombs as artillery, civilians as cover. When Iraqi forces finally raised their flag over the ruins in July 2017, 10,000 civilians were dead. The city was liberated. The city was destroyed. Battle of Grozny 199, 419, 95, and 1999-2000. Russian forces entered Chechnya twice to crush separatists. Twice, Grozny became hell. In December 1994, Russian columns drove into the city without infantry support. Chechen fighters destroyed them from upper floors and basements and embouchures at every intersection. Russian casualties were catastrophic. In 1999, Russia learned. They used artillery, massive bombardment, systematic demolition, no rushing in, just grind the city to dust, then occupy the Ruble the UN called Grozny, the most destroyed city on earth. Russia won. Brutally, completely. Battle of Ramadi, 2006, 2007. Al-Qaeda declared Ramadi the capital of their Islamic State of Iraq. American and Iraqi forces took it back through a new strategy. Small combat outposts deep in enemy territory, working with local Sunni tribes. The Anbar Awakening, tribal fighters turned against Al-Qaeda. Marines and soldiers established presence in neighborhoods previously controlled by insurgents, block by block, building by building, relationship by relationship. Ramadi wasn't just it was politically reclaimed, the model for counterinsurgency success. When done right, Operation Phantom Thunder 2007. Baghdad 2007. The surge, 30,000 additional U.S. troops deployed to stabilize Iraq's capital. Not one battle, but dozens simultaneously across the Baghdad belt. Clear, hold, build. American forces moved into neighborhoods and built outposts, partnered with Iraqi units, fought Al-Qaeda and Shiite militias, while protecting civilians. Violence dropped 70% by year's end. The surge worked. It bought time. Stability, a chance for politics to succeed, where bullets had failed. October 3rd, 1993. Mogadishu. The lesson begins. Since that day, warfare has evolved. Drones, precision strikes, real-time intelligence. But urban combat remains the same brutal equation. The enemy knows the ground, civilians are everywhere, and victory means rubble. 7 battles, 7 cities, 7 lessons written in blood and concrete. Modern warfare isn't fought on open fields. It's fought in living rooms, schools, hospitals, places where every door is a decision, and every decision costs lives. The technology improves. The tactics evolve, but the fundamental truth never changes. In urban warfare, there are no clean victories, only survivors and ruins. The next great battle is already being planned. Somewhere, right now, forces are preparing, learning from Mogadishu, from Fallujah, from Marawi, from every street fight, in every shattered city. And when it comes, because it will come, it will be incredible and terrible, just like all the others.